Alright, so we're just going to do this again. So the point of this portion of the breakout room is to discuss any ask any social questions you may have concerning work relationships, school relationships, church relationships. It is open to like anything from the family session events. We're not really talking about family or siblings or anything related to family, but more like outside of family, that relationship that we want to talk about. Because like our brother said, you have to interact with people every day, right? So how do you deal with, when you have issues with them or when you're uncomfortable with them? There's a lot going on in our world these days. So how do you deal with all the things that's going on a social outside of the family? Because I feel like in our family, we sort of learn to deal with our family no matter what, because they're our family and we love them the way they are. But outside our family, how do we deal with that? Because we don't have to love them because they're not in our family. We don't have to live with them. We work with them for a little bit and then they go or we go. But our family's with us forever, right? So in the short time that we are at work, at school, even in the church, if you decide to move to a different region, how do you deal with that? So that's sort of like what we're talking about today. Is that a better introduction?
We're getting done. Let me see if I can break the ice and ask a question, if I may. There's a constant experience I usually have, especially at work. So by God's grace, I've worked in places. There's this general impression that when they see a young man, they kind of try to view you, especially when you're working in marketing, to the youth segment to say, okay, and now we have people, they introduce some concerts, some things to you, and by the time they relate with you, and they discover that you are not like that, there's a kind of cultural conflict or issue that begins to happen, and they kind of relate with you going forward like that in your place of work. What I mean is this. There's this place is marketing, and they, when you go through the interviews, you are passed, and comes to there's some formality they make just to maybe the business leader, maybe the organs or the MD, they kind of have the final stage where they talk to you one-on-one, and they begin to say, sometimes we have a concert, we call this person, they mention their stars, their celebrities and all that. Imagine, just trying to lure you or to give you the incentives or the benefit that you will enjoy. Hello, I'm just here to do the job, but I won't tell them that, obviously. But along the line, when you get to the work, my work is just to do this analysis. It's not part of me. But there's a kind of cultural issue that you begin to have. Cultural issue, I mean that sometimes they want to distribute their flyers before concerts. Some people are very happy, to go and to do that. But I'm not used to all those. They are doing team buildings and things generally that affect everybody. I could do that. But once they come to all of these external engagements, which is not personal with my values, it becomes issue. They won't tell you directly, but certain decisions are made, and you may not benefit some things because they feel that you're not culturally, officially, they won't state that, but they will begin to relate or deal with you in that because you don't belong to, you don't fit in those social settings. How do you relate with that? How do you manage the people, whether it's your boss or your contemporary? I don't know if I try to paint that picture without going into specifics so that I don't mention the company or the
people. Before Mommy responds, I just want to ask you a question so that I know how to respond. Yes. Maybe Mommy got what you are saying, but I didn't. And I cannot respond if I don't understand your question. So let me reframe it. Mm-hmm. And if I'm wrong, forget about, she has said, forget about pastor. I'm working in a place. Mm-hmm. they have some social functions, social activities that doesn't go along with my values. So how do I handle that? And if I don't follow them, they try to kind of, is either a lure me or they try to relate with me on the basis of me not being part of them. And I understand that. They kind of, play you out, and it could ultimately affect your job. Is that?
Well, that kind of summarizes it, to be honest. That kind of summarizes it. That was repeating.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good question, but I just want to start from here. Anywhere you find yourself at work, at school, anywhere outside the church, wherever you spend 4 hours to 8 hours to 12 hours in a day, make sure that you create an environment that will make you happy, that you just love to go there. Don't let anybody, once you do your assignment, don't let anybody create your environment for you. Create that environment for yourself and make it an environment that you will love to go at any time. I've been in that position of what you said, but because of my role, I don't know how your role is. So because of my role, I can decide what to do and what not to do. And nobody can penalize me or question me or treat me other way because of that. So in the building that I work, the state usually come, to look at them. So that particular year, it was very tough. I don't need to participate, but I just give them moral support. So after the end of the survey, so fortunately for them, we did well. We didn't get too much tag. So everybody were happy. So and I said, oh, congratulations, blah, blah, blah. So the administrator said, oh, Lawrence, let's go and drink. Something like that. Oh, I said, oh, sorry, I know you don't drink, but come, I will get you something. I said, no. And I told her right away that no, that I don't, I'm not going to such thing. But just go and have fun. I didn't like condemning them or something, but I said, oh, you have done good job. I know it was tough. It has been in 5 or 4 days off, and it was very tough, very tough. And I said, okay, just go and enjoy yourself. Then I started joking. I said, oh, do you want me to pay for your drinks? Oh, I know you say no. You say no. But what I did is that the following day or after, I think the following week, I just bought something for the staff. So I didn't follow them to go to their social, but because they have done that job, I kind of like create something for them. So, and I bought something for them. And, that's, neutralized, whatever. Like I said, just create that environment for yourself. Even if you are not in my room, just make sure you create that environment for yourself. Sorry, before that is another one happened when I started working as a nurse. That was about 2 whatever ago. So my manager then invited all of us to our house for a party. And he said we should come, blah, blah, blah. In fact, I think we went together, that if you remember. So, and I went. They were drinking, they were doing all sorts of things. So what, when I got there, there is non-alcoholic stuff. I drank, they play music, and it's not like worldly, whatever, but it's not like all this rapper or something music. So I asked, and one of my colleagues said, oh, Florence, you are not enjoying yourself. You are not drinking here. All of us, I said, I probably is that what you call enjoyment? I said, oh, you are having fun. I'm also having fun. So we can have fun in a different way. And we have fun, we just there for, I don't think, 1 or 2 hours and we left. So it just depends on how you say, like I said, just build a conducive, a happy environment for yourself where you work. If you don't want to go with them, there is a way. Oh, don't just say, oh, I'm not your stuff. That's not for me. You can say it in a way that they get the message. It just depends on how you say it.
Thank you very much. Let's look at Daniel. Daniel was a vice president, was the president in a foreign land. Think about a president in a foreign land and has a king. Think about ambassadors coming from other countries, and Daniel had to be there at what they call the state banquets. Think about Babylon. They are not godly. Think about the dinner, how it will look. Think about what they will serve. And Daniel had to be there. Because the Bible says he was the preferred president out of them all. Leave Daniel alone. Think about Joseph in Egypt. Joseph was a prime minister. Again, think about, because sometimes when we pray that God raise president up among us, raise governors up among us, we need to begin to think, okay, if we have a deeper life that all of a sudden, I don't know how many of us know that the present deputy secretary of treasury, deputy secretary for treasury in America is an Ibadan guy. He came from Nigeria. It's the equivalent of deputy minister for finance. We are talking of United States. So if so, last week when I remember him, I said, I don't think he has the kind of faith that our children have. I don't think he has the kind of godliness that our children have. If God can lift him up and throw him to that point, how come we can have any one of you in that kind of position? Now, think about if he has to be at the White House, banquet is going on, and White House, they are not going to serve ordinary Coke and juice, and he will be there. You can't say because of anything. If she become treasury for finance tomorrow, or deputy, imagine if she become secretary of state. They are talking of external affairs minister. And you'll be visiting countries. And that is our prayer. And when you visit countries, the president of those countries, they will throw what we call state banquet for you. And in the state banquet, they are not just going to serve apple, orange juice. They're going to serve alcohol. When Daniel finds himself in that kind of, in fact, before his promotion came, how did he handle it? He said, you know what? Just give. He requested what he wanted. And they gave him. But Daniel did not condemn what they were doing. Daniel did not say, oh, we know that you people, you are ungodly. We know that you people, you will eat all this idol kind of thing. Some of us that, anyway, I don't think anyone of you listened to that message. It was old message when we were in college. That GX gave this kind of scenario. And he said, imagine yourself in a class, philosophy class. And the professor says, tomorrow we are going to the shrine to go and learn this and that. And the people I remember there in the class. He said, you are not going to raise up your hand and say, Professor, I know child of the devil will always be a child of the devil. You want to take us to, I will not go. I'm a deeper life student. I'm a deeper life, but then you walk out of the class. He said, if you do that, you'll never graduate from that school. So that's the position where wisdom comes in. How do I present this issue? By the grace of God, where I work, I don't even have the option that she has. Because I am to organize it. People organize it for her. She can go, she cannot go. I am the one organizing it. How do I handle it? Number one, when you get to a new place, learn what they are doing. If you don't understand the culture, you will make some wrong comments and assumptions. not everything they do is bad. Not everything they do is ungodly. The one that goes with your faith, pick it. The one that you don't agree with, you have to learn how to present it. Don't present it in such a way that you insult people. Do you understand? So we have made that mistake in the past. I don't drink. People that drink are children of death. If anybody say that, how will you feel? Will you follow that person to their church? I put some things down. There is a difference between friendship and friendliness. You can be friends, but you cannot be friends without being friendly. Christianity does not take friendliness away. Friendliness means pleasant. You're just a pleasant person. That's what the book of Ephesians called kindness. They're just a kind person. They're just pleasant. That's friendliness. Christianity again does not take friendliness away. As a Christian, that culture and characteristics of being friendly, we have to develop it. If you are not friendly, people, you always find your face, you are not kind, you are not pleasant. Nobody wants to hang around people that are not pleasant. They carry out a research in this country about people that are billionaires. You know what they have in common? They are all pleasant people. They are people oriented. I think you have had that before. If you're people that are always grouchy, people don't want to hang out with you. So to have friends, you must be friendly. If you are not friendly, you cannot have friends. Friendship has to do with relationship, but the foundation of relationship is friendliness, and every one of us will have to. I hope I answered it. Thank you very much. Yeah, what? Well,
I think I'm asking that because we're not all like we have a lot of different personalities.
yes.
And people are people who are very like outgoing, they're very social, they're very friendly. It's just natural, very organic. The country plays a life, they like and added Christians and watching people who definitely gravitate more towards those kinds of people, than those kind of people. Then there are the people that love your space. And if you're working in a team, for instance, and you're not necessarily somebody who would, reach out to people first, who has that kind of, really friendly demeanor, how do you deal with that? There are literally people who, just the fact that you're in a room with a bunch of people already freaks them out. So how can, regardless of your personality, how can you get to a point there wherever you are, you're still able to, you're still able to work as a team, you're still able to build that relationship.
Yeah, I don't want to be
And just to add to that,
Yeah.
whatever you're working with, they don't like. So like, with that, because.
You don't want to dominate you. There are different semi-type of friends. Number one, what we call the acquaintances. You meet at gym always, but you don't really know each other. Number two, you have the work friends, more than acquaintances. You are not meeting at gym. You discuss some things about the work. Number three, you have casual friends. Casual friends, they are a little bit deeper than the work friends, but the level of friendship is not as deep as the next one, which is close friends. The close friends, You can call them anytime and they will answer you. They will be there for you. This difference may separate you, but you know that they are there for you. Those are close friends. Then they have what is called one you take care of. Those ones, I don't want to call them parasites, but they are the one that anytime they are in trouble, anytime they are need, they call you. They are there for them, but they never ask you how you are doing. That's another group of friends. But see, you have best friends. What they call best friend. The best friend, they seem to be the most important. Your best friend. And they are the first person you call, whether good or bad. Something happening, you just get a promotion, get a job, God has just answered your prayer. You want to share your testimony with them. But that is what we call lifetime friends. Even if you don't see, you are there before distance, I mean, the same geographical location, but maybe job, she got married and relocate. But anytime you see one another, you call gist, right? You can talk for the next 7 hours. Those are lifetime friends. Now, at work, they don't like your face. We have all experienced it at one time. But the question is, what they don't like, what is it that they don't like about you? Because it's not good to generalize. At a point, I begin to pray and say, Lord, I really want to walk among people that doesn't have the color of my skin, people that doesn't really have my background. Because it's a barrier that all of us need to break. If you want to live in this country and be successful, and you want to get to the top. Otherwise, you will have a kind of phobia. No, a kind of inferiority complex that is inside you. That when you see people that are not like you, you tend to not talk the way you're supposed to talk. You kind of want to mimic them. No. So you want to deliberately break out of your comfort zone. They will push back. One of the greatest things I learned in psychology when you are dealing with people that doesn't like you, people that always say negative things about you, you can read this when you meet situations that baffle you, that want to throw you off. The first thing you do is to smile. And read about it. When you smile, your confidence level increases by 50%.
You can answer the question they will ask.
Yeah.
Once you smile.
They want you to smile, you smile. Yes, go ahead.
One in my workplace, I know we are talking about, if you don't like you, like he said, just identify what they don't like about you. Maybe it's me that I need to work on what they don't like about you. It may not be there per se. Maybe I too need to change some things in my personality. I know we are not the same. So one day, one of my worker asked me, Florence, have you ever got mad with your husband? And he asked me in the public, like in the reception, like, when you first meet, and I just smile. You say, okay, there you go again. You still smile. I said, as your husband make you mad again, still smile. Till today, I didn't answer the question.
So there's some skill that I want all of us to learn. The things you don't read when you are getting your bachelor degree in mechanical engineering and nursing, outside your academic life, you need to read some things that will develop your personality if you want to get to the top of this country. and you have this color of skin. They will push back. But when you read those things, how to handle people that doesn't want to see you. I'm sorry to say, how many of you have ever, if you have not noticed that, I want you to deliberately go and watch anywhere they ask Hillary Clinton question. Just Google, just watch. The first thing she does is she smiles. The only time she loses it, and they use it against her when she was campaigning to be president. It was the day, two things, yes. With Obama, that was number one. Number two was when she was called by the Congress about what happened in Benghazi. And she said, this is the way she did. She said, what does it make now? Whether 3 people are killed or 4 people are killed, what difference does it make now? And they cut that clip. And that's not Hillary Clinton, because I studied some personalities. To develop my own personality, I studied them. That's not hard. Normally, the moment you ask her a question, she first of all laugh and smile, just to win order to herself and to build her confidence up. That's what politician does. Smart one. So, like Mommy said, number one, what is it that they don't like about it? Number two, there are some things that you say, oh, I'm not a people person. Let me just tell you the truth. If you're not a people person, you cannot be a leader. Read about it. There is a book called 21 Principles of Leadership. You cannot be a leader if you are not a people person. Basic. If you want your space, you don't want anybody to come to that place, what you are saying is, I don't want to be a leader. That's just the truth. Because a leader is somebody that is leading. A leader is somebody that people are following. One of the principles of leadership is, if you think you are leading and you look back and nobody is following you, what do they say? You're just taking a walk. You're not leading. So for you to be a leader, to lead your team, in your profession, in your work, in your place of work, you have to learn, you have to develop the skill that you call people skill. How to talk to people, how to relate with people. You can be an introvert. You know, our Father the Lord is an introvert. Jesus is an introvert. Yes. But because he's a leader, look at him. If you meet him one-to-one, you will know he's a pleasant man. You will love to talk to him. There's no way you can be the gist of deeper life and not have people-oriented skill. Because nobody wants to follow a leader that always sees negative things about you. He never appreciates you. He doesn't want anybody around him. A pastor doesn't want anybody around him. He doesn't want the IT around him. He doesn't want the choir around him. He doesn't want what kind of a pastor is there? So the idea of I'm not a people person, I want my space, that's okay. But if you really want to be a leader, you have to take that invitation. It's tough.
And it's not only being a leader. If you want to enjoy even yourself, because isolation doesn't take someone far. So if you want to go far, not necessarily be a leader, because everybody will not be a leader. But if you want to go far, isolation doesn't make someone to go far. So, and I've seen people that decide, I want space. It means that they are shutting their network because they will not be able to network. So if you want to network and you want to go far, you have to be people's friend. And you can be introvert. You know, it's good to be introvert. but you can be friendly. You know, we are talking about two individuals the other time. So I was like, oh, this one, she's introvert. This one says introvert. So, but they say the difference between the two of them is that one of them is friendly, while the other one is not friendly. So, like, we can have different personality, but you know, we can when we put that friendship into that, you know, it's better. Then another thing is that you know there are some people that because you ask a guy, you just don't want them around you. There is no way you will not come across such people. I know individual that I know of. This person can talk. And he can talk my life out. So, but you know what? I don't want her to see that, okay, because of this, that's why I'm avoiding her. So when I want to call her, I will be the one to call her. And I will call her when I have something to do around the house, like cooking. And I will just generate the talk. She can talk for 2 hours and say, oh, is that okay? But I pay attention. But I know that she wants to talk to me. And she will talk all her heart. I will respond to one that I will respond to one. I will make sure that it's when I have that time. So if I don't have that time, and you say, oh, can I talk to you? Just give me time. You know, I promise when I promise you, I'll come. And I'll come back. And not only, I do even for my sister too in Nigeria. That one will call me, oh, this one. Oh, this one. That is it. When are you going to call? I say, well, I call her when I have time. So I call her on Saturday when I'm making my akara. And she will be talking. I'll put the phone on the speaker. And I know she just wants to talk to me. And I will say, as she talk to me, I will just pick the topic. Oh, what about this person? Then she will talk to me about that person. So you can have control over that, you know. Just make sure that, you know, when you want to have, you can have your own space, but just make sure that, you know, you are thoughtful about it. And, you know, when you have the time, just generate the discussion or the friendship and make sure that once it's the time when I talk to someone, you have been talking to me for 30 minutes. Oh, it's time for me to go now. I enjoyed talking to you today. It has been a long time ago that we have such a discussion. I will, you know, make sure that, you know, I appreciate that she talked to me and I talked to her. Though most of what she's telling me may not be, you know, something, but I'll still pay some attention.
Thank you. Just to cap it up, somebody said if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together.
Well, just to piggyback on, you know, what you just talked about, right? Say here, and this is not necessarily like just talking to me. I was just thinking about,
Yeah, sure.
yeah, so I was just thinking about like different scenarios, like different kinds of relationship, and you guys should be featured into it. I think it's a discussion session. So yeah, I was going to talk about situations where you're in a group, right? Or you were in a team, and maybe because of your personality, you started observing that, you know, you were kind of being, there's some sort of separation. You know what I mean? Either because you refuse to conform to their social activities, like maybe drink or something, and then they kind of have a dinner. Now you have that division, right? Here, because they feel like you don't belong to whatever they're doing, then they don't invite you over because you're doing, or whatever it is, right? How do you deal with that? Like you can sense that you can't necessarily just go meet people and be like, oh, why are you not including your stuff? So how do you navigate that situation?
Oh,
You're the one dealing with people. I'm dealing with fish.
and that's true. To deal with patients, I actually deal with people. I have 120 people working under me. I have about 9 directors working under me, each of them different personalities. And but at the upper level, when I first started, we go to this and go to that. Of course, we'll be drinking. And it takes time to build a personality for yourself in a new environment. When you are new, for people to know who you are, it takes time. And we need to be patient with people. But when they know you for who you are, that's one good thing about America. It's different from some of us that lived in Europe before, or Europe, in England in particular, where I lived before. They will not, the kind of respect America will give you once they know you. Europeans don't do that. They don't give you that kind of respect. In America, there, once they know that this is who you are, they want to respect you for that. And I want to encourage each and every one of us. Don't think you are inferior. No. No. I've been there. I always think that the whites are better until you are in the same class. And I discovered that I still not do so these people too, they are not as intelligent as I am.
They are not.
So that was my first. Honestly, I used to think that any white person is the best. Then I discovered that, and they will brag about you. If they get 84, they'll say, I got 84, and I have 96, and I'll be quiet. So later I begin to do away with all that kind of thing. And even when I was going for my last academic exercise, I was like, when I get my license, I just want to work in Hartford. You know, if you know Connecticut, Hartford is our capital, and we have a lot of black there. But at a point, I begin to say, wait a minute. That means I'm limiting myself. I say, Lord, I want to manage a building where the majority of my managers will be white. Because I want to break away from that kind of thing. I want to have the confidence that anywhere I can stand up. Some of my classmates, they are generals in the army. Some of them are the commissioners. Some of them are. I say, what is the matter with me?
Obama was the president. We are almost age something. So why was the president of the world?
So
President of America.
Just the things that inspires me. I said, no, I have to break out. And thank God I break out. But initially, it was not easy. So I began to study people. I began to study how to talk to the public, how to have public skill, how to so then all these inferiority complex that are inherent is just in you. Just because you are black, just in you. So, but it takes time. Then I couldn't initially, I would not be able to say this is what I stand for. But as time goes on, I say, no, I'm sorry, I don't do that. With a smile. Don't forget a smile. If you don't remember anything tonight, remember smile. With a smile. No, I don't remember. I don't do that. Then everybody begins to say, oh, Stephen go to church. Stephen go to church. Stephen's in church tonight. But be pleasant. And later, everybody realized that I'm a pastor. If they mistakenly say anything that is bad, where I am, you say, oh, Stephen, we are sorry. Again, I'll just smile. No comment. I'll just smile. But it takes time. Remember, they'll push back because you are in their space. Racial wise, you are the man that has come to their space because of the color of your skin, and they want to throw you out. But we are wonderfully. I will pray. Anatomy and physiology tells us it's the same thing. The blood, when you analyze it, it's the same thing. The only thing is the psychology of a black man. It's down there. Wait. If I can be a leader in that place, all of you can do better.
I know we don't bring this up, but I think when Rose was discussing with me, and I want us to talk about it briefly because of that time. We work in our workplace and now we are seeing the LGBT community. How do we handle it? Is it something we can talk about?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So how do we find it when we find ourselves, I'm she, but I say I'm he?
How do you still be friendly with that person?
Or how do you address me?
Yes,
Okay. You know, it's my time because I wanted to talk. I just want to also like switch things up a little bit.
Yeah.
So whoever is ready to talk, you can say whatever you want to say, but then you're gonna pop onto somebody else randomly. So I can talk my pop onto like you. And be like, oh, look, that happened.
that's good. That's good.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, that's good. Okay, point to somebody.
No.
Okay, mommy has another.
Mommy already threw a
Throw the
question
question.
an interesting topic that we need to discuss. How do you relate with LGBT community in your place of work?
At school,
At school?
anyway.
Anyway, somebody is a gay, somebody is a lesbian, somebody is both. How do you relate with them?
I can start.
Yes, thank you.
I think we need to remember that first, they're still human. So regardless if they're lesbian, gay, transgender, they're human. So treat them like you would treat any other human. Usually in the workplace, the issue of their sexual orientation doesn't always come up, and it doesn't always interfere with your work activities. So even though if they identify as such, if they don't bring it up, if there's no discussion about it, there's no need to bring it up. And just go about your day and just interact with them as your colleague and just a rose.
I'm adding to the question. Who's going into the healthcare field? What do you do? Yeah.
I'm a mechanical engineer.
Never mind. What do you
Yeah.
do? Ah, what do you want? So right before like in the healthcare field, so one of them do have to give like treatments that is changing them, like testosterone shots, right? I mean, you can't like withhold care, right? But in that case, are you wrong as a Christian to be supporting this person who's a female, but now you have to give the shots to help them become more of a man and grow all the other body parts and all the stuff.
You know what I do? I've been the issue of marijuana.
That's a good example.
I prescribe. Not like I prescribe. Let me start from this. There was, I had a patient. So he was having affairs with another resident. It's a residential place. And
The
male and female into relationship. Male and female. Boyfriend and girlfriend.
Oh, that's
So
much clearer. We want that clarification.
So, because anything they want to do, they have to get providers for them, musician or whatever. So they called me, I was at home. Oh, the guy said that, oh, Florence, and I tell that so should be in the same room and continue their relationship. I said, why did you call me? Number one, I'm not on call. Call the on-call. And if you don't get the on-call, show it to medical director. I'm not the medical director. That's it. So the issue of Marino is a medication. It's from marijuana. What is a good medication? It's a appetite stimulant. And somebody that is losing weight is not eating. And if it's not eating, you can die. It's a medicine. It's under my watch. He's taking it. if he doesn't eat and die, what gain does he, what do I gain? Something. What if he lives and maybe before he died, he met Christ and he. So it just depends on what it is. And most of this, the question you ask for that, most of the time is prescribed by specialists. So once it's ordered by the specialist, because I have it, when they come, I still review that. Yeah, something. Once anything that is from specialists, I will add them to the person started discussion. But if I have to give it, if I have to, I'm not the one, my job is I'm not the one that prescribes it. So most of the time I don't give medication. So I don't administer any medication. But if I have to, well, when I was doing my NP, I did family nurse practitioner, and I have to go to women health. All these parental, whatever, plant food or whatever they want to cancel. And even in the clinic that I did my, some people do abortion, there I pay. It's just, I told the lady, I said that I'm not going to participate, but I want to learn to help people. If somebody aborted and comes to me, I want to treat so that I will know what medication, what treatment has he gotten. I know some of the people, I know somebody that, I'm not going to do that. I said, it's not about, I'm not going to do that. I can help that individual one way or the other. So I learn, and I was saying, I'm not the one giving them medication. I'm not the one performing whatever. But I read their case, I look at the medication, I look at the side effects, and I monitor it. It just depends. But most of the time, like I said, anything controversial, I just refer them to a specialist. And once the specialist has it, is the one that is just under my watch. And I'll just tell my staff, just keep eye on them. If there is any question, I will refer to specialist. Did I answer your question?
When I used to,
What if you are a special?
Oh, I'm a general practitioner.
let me give you an experience. When I used to work as a nurse, I had a patient that they have to give cigarettes to.
Mhm.
With all humility, I told the authority, I'm sorry, I will not give cigarettes out. So the facility asks another, once I'm on duty, they ask another nurse to come and give it. So, but we have to do it with respect. You cannot do it by insulting other people. Coming to that particular procedure, it will not be good as a nurse not to learn the procedure. Of course, when you're in school, if you don't learn it, you don't pass that class. So it's always good to learn it, to know this is how it works, this is why it's bad, this is the benefit of it. Open yourself to learning. The more you learn, the more confidence you have to handle issues around it. I'm talking of as a scientist now, biological scientist, as a nurse, as a doctor, practitioner, whatever. If you don't understand the procedure, then you become inferior in that aspect. The more you know, the better for you. You'll be able to, let me give another example. You don't perform abortion, but somebody has an abortion and you bring her to your clinic. Will you say, because it's abortion, we are not going to take care of that patient? If you do that in this country, your license is at stake. You are not performing abortion, but you are helping a patient that is about to die. So when it comes to to practice, I'm talking as a practitioner now, you have to really analyze and be able to think through what exactly you are refusing and what you are not refusing. You will be refusing what your license is actually all about. Because it doesn't matter what people do that bring them to that condition. Don't forget, you as a nurse, you have to care for everybody. It's just like people that shoot themselves with substance or whatever, and they're about to die. Will you say, oh, good for you? I wish you had come to our church. We will have preached to you. You shouldn't have done that. You can't do that as a nurse. If you do that, you lose your life. It doesn't matter the state you work. So when we say we are not participating in this and that, we really need to analyze and identify which one are we not participating in it, and which one are we really can do on the basis of the scripture. Thank you.
And people.
Yes.
People.
Esther,
sorry.
Not a question, just something.
Esther.
Oh, you just want to say something. Okay, thank you very much. I think in this area of LGBTQ and all stuff, because it's relatively new to us, some of us, they are used to it here. Nothing is new under the sun, to be honest. Because if it has happened in the Bible days, but the government approval, giving permission and all that is permissible here, but not back in Africa. So I think one of the ways that we can help our people is what I think some universities are doing, because when international students come, they give orientation. That's okay, this is America. We have these people here. So you don't look at them because the way they dress, start laughing at them and start, and start doing things that will be termed offensive. It can lead to anything. This is America, they have guns and they use it. So we too can help ourselves to say, okay, though we are here, that we like it or not, we are here. Let's learn the way to live, especially when people are coming new and you meet in malls, you meet in public places. Learn how to deal with them, know the distance you give between person A and person B, know the way to. So I think that can help and maintain our own sanity so that we maintain contact with our family.
Yeah. And I should say that, oh, sorry.
And how do you call them? Like, do you stick to the pronouns and say they want, or do you or do you call them like what you feel like was that original? Imagine you knew that person prior to the transition.
Answer that question?
Yeah,
Yes,
I was actually going to talk about that. Thank you, because I have a personal experience with that. I went to a gathering with my friend, and we were eating, and we were about to play a game, and so there was this lady sitting down, and I was like, oh, I think I was just trying to say something and reflect, and I was like, oh, she said, and she's like, oh, they actually, and I was like, oh, okay, what's her name, by the way? And I called her name off her because I don't want to do with having to start saying Jaden. I'm not gonna do it. So exactly. And then you confuse yourself. So I think like the ways to deal with this thing, because I don't think that we want to understand as Christians is we want to deal with this society. We want to navigate the society without to lose it. That's at the end of the day, right? The core we have things that make us that we have the core that makes us who we are as Christians. So how can we hold on to that while still dealing with this society which we serve? And that's like one of the most important. So look at the movies right now. Like pretty much every movie that is going in this space. Before little by little, you start becoming insensitive. And as a Christian, when you start becoming insensitive, gradually you're going to go spiritually. Yeah. So you don't want to get to a point where you see somebody dressing some type of way, you're like rooting for them. Mm-hmm. That's not you. That's not what the Bible tells us as Christians. So, but specifically to the question you have, I personally just call them by their names, and I try as much as possible to be conscious. Once I find that person, I have to deal with that person in that moment. I try as much as to be conscious. Everything I'm going to be saying, I'm going to say with that person's name. That's how I deal with that person.
Yeah, but some of them actually like change their names as well. Like,
But
pregnant.
anybody can
Why-
change
why-
their name. Anybody can change their
Yeah.
name. You can change your name anytime.
Sorry, yeah, we need to round up, but there is like, so we're having some periods time right now, and then after there's like, we need to get this. Yeah,
Are we rounding up now?
for this happening, yes.
Some people are not speaking.
We have another session that's like relationship, so we'll continue it over dinner.
No, I think we asked the question.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I wanted to ask is, talk about your relationship, so in a team, you're working with a team like that, you know that someone is not doing something, is doing something that impacts in your work, but you're also like conscious of trying to like, you know, you don't want to call out anyone, you're trying to like be protective of them, but that's also like rubbing off as, it comes off as if you are not doing your job well. Do you get what? But you also don't want to give them an impression because you're the only person, you're the only black person there, and so that people who have been there for years. And so you don't want to get an impression that you're someone who tells and others, you know, you're also trying to like build that relationship with them. How do you navigate like, because I had that kind of situation, and then someone was like, you should, and I told someone who has been here for several years, and she's like, you should have told her, how about, you should have said, well, how about what you said you agreed to do this and you didn't do it. And then now look at what has happened. You took the work over from me, and then now it was not done. But you said nothing when it was asked, when the work was finally asked about. So I kept quiet and I just like let it go. Because I didn't want to call out anyone, you know, I say and then cause trouble. So what do you do? Like how do you, because you're also trying to like save yourself, you know, and you don't also want to like call out anyone and cause yeah.
Let me just make a comment about the LGBT community before I answer the question. I've noted that they are more sensitive than the heterosexual. They are very, very sensitive. So we have to be very careful. Don't get into unnecessary trouble because of the LGBT community. Yeah. So, so answering your question.
You know what? I used to say that, you know, let's concentrate on the positive. You know, Daddy told me something, and because you know the FBI, they don't study fake flower. They study real flower. So that immediately they see the fake, they can easily identify. You know, these people want attention. And by the way talking about them, we are giving them attention. Don't pay them mind. Like she said, just do, you know, the official work. Like I have them as patient. Oh, my nurse's assistant or my nurse. Oh, she said it's a she. It says, oh, that's okay. I look at the whatever the diagnosis and I go there, blah blah blah. And like you said, I use their first name. Joe. Whatever he calls herself or himself, that's what and I don't go there. Some of them will do like this. I don't even, it doesn't bother me. I work with one of them. We changed. You know, with my work son, like I have a lot of work son. And she wanted to do nursing. So I follow him up. Oh, like then I didn't see him for some time. And people keep on saying, your son is something now. He's a girl. I said, okay. One day I was going from work, then he was calling me. He met me. And then I said, oh, how are you? How are you doing? I've not seen you for a while. Blah, blah, what about your program? You doing bad? So the way she was talking to me, she was doing like this. She said, I called him by his name. So after that, I didn't even look at it. Then as I was going, you know, the spirit led to me. Then I said, look straight to his eyes. And I say, look at me. Who am I? Your mama at work. You know what? That's not your stuff. Say yes, I know. Say no important. Neither. I worked there for 10 years till I left. You see me, you will be the first person to say hi to me. So it's just the way you build you. So don't pay them attention. When he was doing like this, they showing me the paint, all this thing. I don't even ask, what's your name? Why did this one start? I didn't even discuss. So they are not important.
So back to your question, you are in the team, and one of the team members is, he's not doing his own job. It's affecting. When you correct an adult in the public, the response is different when you correct an adult in the private. So those are the skills that I want us to be developing. So such a person, I will call him and say, hey, again with a smile, because your body language speaks a lot. So I will call and say, hey, Joe, this issue. I noticed that you didn't do it and it's affected us. What do you think? Can I be of help?
What can we do together?
Or what can we do to fix this? Because everybody is in mess now. But if you say that in the public, when other members of the team are there, the response, you won't like it. You will push back. But when you are one-to-one, you are preserving her personality. You are not, yes. So, and in this country, our dignity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
I think the temperature increased as we were in here.
Yeah, so. Both warm. It's time to breathe.
Thank you.